So everybody likes a good story. So here's the story of my dock. Now you might think, how many decades ago did this dock get built? Well, not even one. This is a 9-year-old dock. This is 2015. The year after we moved back into the house I grew up in, the greenhouse out on the Great Sacandaga Lake, and we didn't have access. We didn't even have stairs to the lake because the stairs that were there from when I was a kid were long since torn out, and my parents' dock had gone away, and I basically rebuilt the same dock configuration that we had when I was in high school. When I was a kid, we had a little bit different style dock, but this is an 8-foot by 24-foot, and the way our lake regulating district makes you do it, you have to have no sections bigger than 8 by 12, so you can put as many of those together as you want, and that's what we did. And this is our gangplank. This is a 3-foot by 16-foot gangplank, also built at the same time. And if you know anything about docks, they are exposed to a tremendous amount of abuse. Obviously, they're in the water. They're subjected to lots of forces from boat wakes, from just wind, from, in our area, ice. It's a big thing with our lake because it's a reservoir. It's a man-made reservoir designed to control the water flowing into the Hudson River in the springtime. So the height of the lake will drop in the fall to allow for water, melted snow that's coming off the Adirondack Mountains to the north to flow down into our reservoir and be collected and released to the Hudson River as desired, not all at once in the spring, which that's what was going on back in the turn of the century, when industry and factories and industrialization was happening down around the Albany area and surrounding areas. So it was causing a tremendous amount of damage in the spring. So they built the dam that holds our water back in 27 to 29. And so what happens, I tell you all that to say this: it's a gamble. If you don't pull your dock out every year in the fall, it's a gamble whether or not your dock's going to make it through the winter unscathed. And I've rolled the dice and come out fine, and I've rolled the dice and had some sketchy moments. So here's a couple sketchy moment examples where, you know, the ice can come up and push your dock into like a TP formation. We had to deal with that one time. Sometimes it freezes high. I've even had it freeze, and I've been out there trying to cut it out with a chainsaw. It's just ridiculous, and I'm getting to the point where I'm probably going to pull it every year. Boating season. This is early. My boat's in the water, but it's early. So what are we, May 12th? June. June is usually, you know, an acceptable month. June, July, August. September is bonus. And if your boat's in the water in October, it was a crazy year. So my boat's been in the water in October, but you get about 3 months. So only 1/4 of the calendar year do you actually get to use your boat, where I'm at, and your dock. So it's sometimes very hard to justify the cost of all this, because you know the acronym BOAT stands for BOAT, bust out another 1,000, and it does not just apply to the boat itself. Floats and hardware and galvanized chain, that's over $1,000. The lumber I dragged home yesterday, just about $1,000. I don't know what happened, but it seemed like things used to be cheaper like 4 or 5 years ago, and now everything's like expensive, even like groceries and gas and diesel and stuff. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you have any idea why things are so expensive now the past like 4 or 5 years. Like, let me know. I'm just trying to figure things out and redo my dock. But you'll see, let me show you this. You'll see damage to my 2x8s here. This was from ice. I'm assuming I was on vacation when this happened. I came back and these 2 floats were gone. I'm assuming the ice had frozen around them. These are new lags, but the lags that held them in One in particular, you can see that was bent pretty dramatically. Some others didn't bend, they just broke the wood out. So this 2x8, this 12-footer, and the 8-footer on the end are going to get replaced. I deal with a guy that has great hardware for this, so you're not depending on just screws holding your boards together, but any main intersection has galvanized hardware on both sides, so that's really what you're relying on for holding your dock together. And I don't know how it would hold together otherwise, but so we're gonna take that corner off, replace this 2x8 and this 2x8 to a 12-foot and an 8-foot. And what I'm going to do is change the orientation. So what the side we're looking at now, this faced the shore, but this side will now be perpendicular to the shore. This is where my gangplank used to come in. There was a bracket right here. Gangplank came in like this. I put my boat on the far side and faced the lake out there. But a lot of these wake surfing boats cast a huge wave, and it's just not ideal. I've got whips that hold my dock away from my boat away from my dock, and they're working really hard, and the boat just is exposed to forces it shouldn't otherwise be exposed to. So what we're going to do is once we rebuild the gangplank, we're going to put it off the back here, and this is how it's going to go out. So we'll park on either side. It'll also open up a second boat spot for visitors. But what I'm doing right now is just kind of laying things out. I've pulled the pins to separate the halves. I'm going to pull this back, and I had this dock wrapped in carpet when it was brand new. We'll post some pictures over top of this, but when this was brand new, it looked really sharp. I put all the corner hardware over top of the carpet, and I dug the look, and it looked that good for probably 3 years. But then the carpet gets a little funky, and then the wood underneath would start to pop up a little bit, so you could see it was all plywood underneath. You could see the different pieces and the seams, and so over time it just showed its age. And this past year, Bennett and I, back last fall, cut the plywood off, and in the fall normally you've got a window of time where it's sitting on the beach and you can get to it and do work, and that's what the plan was. And if it gets too cold, then you still have a window of time in the spring where it sits on the beach and you can do some work to it. But no, we were robbed of all that time because rain and whatnot caused a lot of water to come down. So this thing's been floating and getting even more beat up. And we're going to undo that. And when we're done, it should look like a brand new dock. So we'll keep you posted. What we're going to do now is what I did here. Take these brackets off, get the carpet that was underneath it out of there. You can see the carpet here. I've actually got to swap this corner out with this corner because I don't need this tab anymore because the gangplank isn't going to mount there. So I'll take this off. I got to separate these, get that carpet out, and make it look pretty. So I'm out here working on this dock, and I've been doing a lot of stuff without you. So I'll give you a quick walk around just so you can stay kind of up to date on what's going on. So this is the last float that I'm adjusting. These are 3 foot by 4 foot. The original way I built these is the 3 foot side showed here, and the 4 foot side went that way and butted up next to the 4 foot side of that. We're changing that. So the 4 foot side runs this way, so I can get access all around the floats. This one's new. Oh, this is new, obviously. This is old. This is the board that we pulled out from the end, the 8-footer. All these brackets are new. Well, newly reinstalled. This guy's new. New, because we lost these two. They disappeared. This is old, but had taken on some water. I drained it out. They've got little plugs. You can see there, come out with an Allen head. This is a new float. This one was gone. Formerly the gangplank bolted on here. Gangplank is over there next to the woods right now. We're going to rebuild the whole thing. We got some 16-foot 2x6s and some 8s over there to cut up and piece in and do some blocking. That's going to mount here, 2 brackets. So this will be out into the lake. I got to put some cleats on either side so we can secure ropes to shore. On this end, that far portion, because these all hinge in the middle. And my buddy MRC Builds asked me, why don't you just do one massive dock? Because the Hudson River Black River Regulating District, which owns the lake, has rules that we must comply with, and they say you can't have a bigger dock than 8 by 12. So we are complying. We're good boys and girls over here. So this is 8 by 12. This is 8 by 12, hinged in the middle, so you can park your 24-foot long boat in the middle. But since it's going to be so far out in the lake, up here we're going to put a special bracket. Of course, I'm climbing all over myself. Been around this dock a million times, but we got a special bracket that will mount through a little trap door that the 2 chains that are laying over there, they will slide in here, and so you can pull the trap door open and pull on the chain, let the chain out, and the chain will go off at an angle to weights that'll be underwater with these brackets in them. So the chain will bolt to that, and there's another one in the box. Come up to this, so that will steady this from side to side motion. The gangplank holds it offshore, the ropes pull it into shore. Everything works together to keep it in place. Upgrades I'm making. I'm putting in this 2x under here. I've screwed that to all the boards except that one. I got to get in there and do. And this, a couple pieces of 2x here. These just act as some blocking, but allow me to screw this lower one in between. There's a slot like that under here, so I'm going to through bolt this. That locks the float in place. This also holds the float in place. That holds the float in place. I'm going to do this up there. That'll hold the float in place, so the floats can't go anywhere. And on the outside, we'll have deck boards that'll come an inch up above this. This is 2x8. I'm going to put a 2x10 covering the end of the deck board, and I'll go down and it'll come down here about 1.5 inches to cover and hold in the floats. So all the through bolts and lags hold the float to the dock, and all this extra wood that I'm putting in there is going to keep the floats from moving. So once I get this last float in place, then I'm going to start to figure out that bracket for the chain up there. Then I can throw my gangplank together with some screws and then come back, steal all the bracketry and everything off that. Then once I have that measurement, which I don't want to trust that it's going to be exactly the same, once I know the measurement, I can come back here and put my brackets in here, and then I can start putting my deck boards down, all 48 of them. But that is going to have to wait till next week, because this weekend, tomorrow morning, which is a Friday the 17th, I guess, we're heading to South Carolina, celebrate my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. Probably shouldn't give her age away, but it's kind of big. It's a big day, so we're going to do that. We're going to share this weekend with her, and come back. I'll be home on Tuesday evening. So that'll be that. I will be seeing my buddy Tricycle Guy on the way home. Probably by the time this video airs, that will have already happened, and maybe I will have made a video with him. Because last time I stopped by his house and made a video, it was a good video. It's my most watched video, so it'd be good to do that. All right, and the next time you see me in this video, we should have some good work done. Maybe I'll jump in before we start putting deck boards down. This sounds good. All right, bye. Dock update. It is Memorial Day weekend. It is Saturday morning. It's barely morning. I got out here late. But we've been making headway on the dock. Let's look at that's what happens when your wood dries out. It's starting to get all curvy. So I have clamps and things that I can use to address that, but should have got them bolted down when they were wetter. Let me show you. So I've got the floats all bolted in where they need to go. I've got this bracing in here. Like I started down there, but now it's all done. So between that 2x4 and these 2x6s, this gives me another bolting point, which I need to do. And helps lock this into place. So you can see these are hot. They're actually swelling up. That's physics. I don't know if you know that. Is that chemistry? Thermodynamics, one or the other. That needs to be screwed in tighter. Why is that not screwed in? But started on the gangplank. I've got one last corner to put on here. This was banged up. This was one of the corners that came off of there that was on the shore side, and it got a little screwed up, so I've got to try to straighten that up so when I bolt it on it's normal. So that's what I'm working on, but my plan is to have this done today. Me and my buddy Vinny are going to be working on this, but sun's out, guns might be out is what I'm thinking. I won't be recording that, so sorry ladies. I'm going to keep that for myself. But even when I start putting the deck boards on, there's some cleats I've got to figure out and put on, and there's some things that need to be thought about. So that's something else. Always something. But here I go. Wish me luck. So it's another day. Another day that we're working on this dock. Let me show you where we're at now. What day is it? June 1st. June 1st. I should be working on 3-wheelers for Trike Fest, but I'm trying to finish up this dock. Tomorrow might be the day. We'll see. But here's what we're looking at. We are in the barn because we sold the old boat. These are not screwed down. These 5 boards are screwed down. I have put this board on the outside. This is a 2x10. I've routed out around any brackets. So this gives the deck board something to dead end into. And it also helps lock in these floats. So that's what I've been talking about. So now all these floats will have less room to move around. And I've done 2 of the 6 sides that will be getting these boards. There's the brackets for the gangplank. The new gangplank is out there. Can we see it? No. Where is it? It's out there. I've not done it on this side because these are running a touch long, so I'll come through here and trim these up to the same plane as that, and then we'll cap this off, and then we'll do it again on that side. And I think what I've counted, I'm using more than 24 boards, which is what I bought, so I've got to probably buy 3 more deck boards. I'm going to end up being 3 short, I'm pretty sure. But that's where we're at for now. Let's see how far we get today. Guess what's not done? This godforsaken dock. All weekend I worked on it. Not like every single minute. I feel like I'm hearing something. Not like every single minute, but a lot of minutes. And there's the gangplank. Gangplank's done. There's the chain. Chain's not being used yet. But here, I'm going to show you. Just give me a second, all right? Calm down. Carmelone, right, Chris? Carmelone. Inside joke. All right, here, you ready? Well, let me get the lights. You won't be able to see it unless I turn the lights on. All right, you ready? Okay, lights on. Here we go. Right? Dang, right? So, let me show you. Okay, I got it so I can step right up. So, this side's been cut, so it's nice and straight. And I've got to make a board like this to go on the outside. And what does that mean, make a board? I've got to route out around the bracket here and there and there. And I bought another set of cleats. These are 10-inch. I didn't know what size they were. I thought I was buying another set of 10-inch for this end, but I bought 8-inch. And instead of returning them, I just bought those two new 10-inch ones today. I'm going to use the 8-inch on this end. In case you want to swing by on a jet ski, you can do that. But I'll have another cleat there and another cleat there. And that's for my whip. And that's for the whip. If you don't know what dock whips are, they're just like these big kind of fiberglass whips that hold the boat away. So my boat's going to be on this side. This is the side facing shore. Gangplank will be holding it 16 feet offshore. So that'll be 40 feet out. So that's a lot. So to help keep this end from moving side to side, that is the bracket that the chain goes into. Comes up through the bottom and goes down into the depths to my weights. And my weights are over there, two 400-pounders. And yeah. So I've got these screwed all down until here. So I've got 13 boards left. That one's going to be a partial board, and so is the last one on this. I didn't screw down this board all the way or that board all the way. I've got to unscrew what I did do so I can drill the holes and mount the cleats. So that's this order of business right there. And once that's done, I'll screw those in fully all the way and continue going that way. Did all that make sense? Man, I do not like holding my phone this way. I don't know why I did this. I'm still looking the wrong way. But that's your insider update, short and sweet. Because the more I'm talking to you, the more I'm not working on this dock. Well, I think this is the final day. I'm going to finish this thing today. It's been a long overdue process, and I'm sorry that it's taken so long, but I wanted to document it. I think it looks good. It's not perfect, but I don't know that it needs to be perfect, but it looks so much better than it did. Here's where I'm at. We are one board away. Oh, where's my finger? Right there. That needs to go on the other side. We'll take you around the outside, around the outside. This is my little trap door that I do need to attach these together to make a little door to cover that. That's where the chains will come up through. The chains will be connected to the weights. They're in the blue barrels over there. See them? Right there. Only you can see one of them. Those will go underwater. Chains hold the front end of this stable. Once I finish, I will have to use my tractor to kind of push these two halves back together. Get the pins in those. I'm going to hit this with a sander. This was so wet. Like it was... I cut that on my table saw, but it was just so wet. So I'm going to hit it with a sander, walk around it a few times so it's nice. Look how much that sticks up. You know what that is? Because that screw split that board, so it made that stand up. Son of a biscuit. I could back that out and use one of these guys. Fire that down through there. So many screws going through this area, screws and bolts. That's gonna bother me though. All right, well, okay. Down in the weeds. So on the back, this is the shore side. We've got the gangplank mount. That'll go to a rope over at an angle to the shore, and that'll go to another rope to a shore mounted anchor. So this one's done. This is for my boat whip. If you know what boat whips are, you know what I'm talking about. Need a cleat also. So the last thing to do tonight, besides that little trapdoor thing we talked about, I started to do this last night, but I didn't have enough daylight. I snapped a line, but I realized this 2x8 is not straight, so I gotta pick the better line. I don't like that line, and then I gotta run my saw down it. Only buy the best tools, Craftsman. Once that's cut, then I can pop that other board on it. You can see how I've routed out to go around these brackets, so you don't see the brackets. You just got a nice clean look. And of course, we redid the whole gangplank, except the brackets. I reused those. Stuff is not cheap. One of these floats is 220 bucks. I don't know what they were when I bought them, and when I bought the original ones in 2015, but safe bet in today's economy, they were not that much. Still expensive then too. That being said, I'm gonna get to work, because then we've got some tractor work to do. We're going for it. We are done with the dock. Did I show you the finished dock? If I didn't, you're about to see it. Gangplank's finished. Weights are locked and loaded. We're not ideal, but we're gonna run it. Let me show you what we're doing. All right, we're heading to the boat launch. Gangplank's on. Each one of these tubs weighs 400 pounds. This thing I gotta move because that's just sitting there. That's not good. These are precariously strapped down. Not strapped down that great. Got the dock held down in a couple different points. We're pinned back together. It's looking pretty good if I do say so. I kind of dig it. Bennett's getting some bug spray. I think he just got it in his I think he just got it in his mouth. So we're gonna launch this and leave him at the boat launch with it, and then I'm gonna come fetch him with the boat. It is fast boat weekend, if you've ever heard me talk about that. These small little speedboats come up and invade this weekend. And they're small, but they're loud. Fast and loud. Here comes Bennett. He's got a new haircut. There's our cat. Bennett, how you like your new haircut?
It's great.
I think you look great. You ready for this? All right, we're gonna launch this thing. Here we go. Update. We are in tow. So far, so good. But it is, what's the time? Is it 8 o'clock? 8 p.m. 8:02? 8:02. The weather forecast said it was 90% chance of rain at 8 o'clock. So here's what we're looking at, and this is the direction we're heading. So, weather comes from this direction. Now, there was blue sky not that long ago, but now it's not. And we live up there. That's Hampton Point. We live just past the point. So that's where we're heading. We're going at a whopping, I don't know, 4. We're going about 4 miles an hour. So we'll be there in about 30 minutes probably. And that's what we're going to be doing. We put the bimini up because it looked like rain. When we get there, we'll get the gangplank connected. So we'll have to shimmy that gangplank off. Try to move the weights to the center, because if we slide the gangplank off, that might make things tippy. I don't know how this is gonna go. I brought a string, the smaller rope. Is that on the dock still? I thought I put it on there. To tie around the chain in case I drop these weights in the water and all of a sudden realize I didn't have enough chain. At least I won't lose them. But I think I'll be good. We'll find out. I only got 25 feet of chain on each. I didn't question the guy, but that's where we're at. We'll catch up with you when we get there. The rain has started, but we are dry. But to the west, it's looking bright. So my hope is that by the time we get to where we're going, which will be about 15 more minutes. What time is it? 8:25. So my hope is that this passes over by the time we got to get out and start doing our thing. If not, we're just gonna get wet. Are you okay with getting wet?
Yeah.
All right. Keep you posted. Okay. I didn't show you all everything, but we got the gangplank attached and the 2 ropes to shore. Bennett is loosening the straps on the weights. My lovely wife is here to assist. And we are going to release the weights now. So the boat's just kind of floating out there, doing its thing. Something's still running. I apparently don't have the key all the way off. But babe, I'm going to hand the phone off to you.
Okay.
You can record. I want to get my weight to the center more. Off camera. Totally making this up as I go along. Go at an angle like that. Brought this rope to tie my chain to in the event it isn't long enough.
I guess this is the test. Is this the real deal? Oh boy. Should somebody stand on those 2x4s?
I'm about to lift them up.
Oh, okay. He's got it all planned out.
Ready? So the technique of sliding these on a 2x4 has worked wonderfully. I've never moved 400 pounds so easily, or ever. Let's get our insurance policy tied on.
Oh, wow.
Don't kick anything in the water. All right.
Oh, boy.
Come up here, babe.
Hold on, it needs a minute to focus.
So the chain goes up through this bracket. I can see it swinging out there, so you don't tighten it all the way because the weight of the chain will help center the dock. And as the water goes down and the season goes on, I'll probably be able to get out here when it's shallower and move them out if I want to. Because as the lake goes down, since this is a reservoir, it will the dock will be moving out. So if we move the weights out, it'll be better as the time goes on. But it's pretty dark. We gotta dock things up and call it a night. But success. We'll check it in the daylight. Done, complete, picked up. Palin just helped me pick up my mess. Bennett helped do the dock. Got the boat covered. We will we'll flip this around and show you how things turned out. Well, we did this with kindness, that's for sure. So I'm gonna try not to back off the dock, but all right, what I just noticed when we woke up this morning, our bedroom is up there. We looked down and the dock wasn't perpendicular to shore. It's funny because shore and the house aren't parallel. The front of the house and the shore aren't parallel, so we're cheating the difference basically. But when I dropped the weights, can you see my chains? One goes out that way, one goes straight down. So it's good because waves come from this direction and want to pull the dock that way. So I've got that support. I don't have as much support from this way just yet. This is fast boat weekend, by the way. So you see a lot of cool boats out there. But we will have to adjust the weights. Here's my little trap door. Everything looks good down there. Oops. Cleats look good. We've got a guest spot. And then we've got a short boat or a wave runner guest spot. I'm happy with the finished product. We're out 40 feet from shore, so that's 16, 12 plus 12. If you add that up, that's 40 feet. This gap is smaller than it used to be, but you got to leave a gap so you can get to your pins and your cotter pins. That was nice, honey. Palin wants a set of dock stairs so she can climb up from swimming. You don't want to use the boat stairs?
The boat ladder.
The boat ladder.
That's scary, man.
Yeah. And plus that rope is in the way.
Yeah.
Not ideal cleat placement on this boat. Like, I'm having to do this. Yeah, I get it, you want to keep this clear. I opted to put the front end of the boat in towards shore so I can have deep water out here. Deepest water. Plus it's easier, since I'm on this side, for me to park it this way. That was the idea. There's a side entrance to the boat on the other side. So if I can't stand this, I could always back it in on this side. my whips are on this side, so that's the way I want to use. But this is in contrast to when we used to park our boat sideways. So the edge of the dock would be 4 feet in, so it'd be about here. This is where we would park. So as the lake level goes down, you're moving your dock out, but you're always kind of ending up in shallow water, especially at the end of the season. So this will extend our season, but that's really the end of it. So total costs, can't quite remember. It was over $900 for lumber. I had to return some. I went down and bought some new. Extra hardware, call it like $1,000 just for lumber and extra hardware. Screws, I spent on stainless steel screws over $100. In the new dock hardware, chain, floats, I was up around $1,200. I was over $1,200. So I'm really into this, probably, what is that, $2,300 in the stock rebuild. Now, I built the stock originally back in 2015, and I think all the lumber for the stairs, the dock, and floats and stuff, I think I was in things about $4,000 then. I know it had to have been cheaper. But anyway, that's it from me and Palin here on the Great Sacandaga Lake. If you want to be our neighbors, there's a house for sale on our road, just down the way a little bit. Bank's a little bit taller down there, so your stairs are longer. But for $895,000, you can live on our road.
Worth it.
Be our neighbors. It is worth it. All right. Thanks for watching. Not really three-wheeler content, but kind of interesting and fun, and something I was doing anyway.